Hello, my name is Asha, and this is Asha Reviews Movies and TV. Today, we're going to be reviewing The Usual Suspects. I've been recommended this movie a lot by a lot of different people, especially on Letterboxd. It was originally on my Letterboxd watch list. Now it's been taken off, obviously, because I watched it. So the cast of hold on. This is The Usual Suspects movie review, and this was made in 1995. It's currently the 20th of the 11th, 2025, November 2025. Before we get started, I'd like to say don't forget to like, subscribe, turn the notification bell on, so you get notified when I make new videos and I upload new short videos and other content to the channel, as well as when I post on the polls page, so you can see any polls I have up or any questions that you guys could answer for me and stuff like that. That actually helps the channel out a lot. Again, we're trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year, which will be amazing, because we're only 6 away. So 6 people watch this video not subscribed, and they subscribe. We're up to 100 by the end of this month. Really, I think we could get to it by the end of the month. Again, we're in a competition with Mackenzie now, because his channel's been gaining a lot of popularity recently. He mainly does stuff about memes and stuff over there. So we're trying to have a competition with him as well. Let's get straight into this video then. The cast of this movie was Kevin Spacy, Gabriel Byrne, Stephen Baldwin, and Benko de Toro. Kevin Spacey you may know from K-Pax or 21. Gabriel Byrne you may know from Ballerina and Vanity Fair. Stephen Baldwin we may know from Pose and Fled. And Benico de Toro you may know from Sicario and Traffic. The director of this movie was Bryan Singer. The writer of this movie was Christopher McQuire. The IMDb rating for this movie is 8.5, which is a really good rating on IMDb. And it's a really good rating by me as well. My rating is a 7.9. I know I did a bit less than IMDb, but you gotta think about it this way. My rating are always going to be a bit lower than the IMDb ratings. Maybe they'll be above sometimes, because I think movies are better than IMDb says. But this is just my opinion now on the movie. I did think it probably did deserve an 8.5, to be honest. But in my personal preference, it was a 7.9. But I still thought it was an amazing movie. This is available on Prime Video from $4.49, sorry, rated 18, and it was made in 1995. This is a caper, gangster, heist, drama, thriller, action, crime movie. And the plot of the movie is: the sole survivor of the Pier shootout tells a story of how a notorious crime influenced events that began with 5 criminals meeting in a seemingly random police lineup. This film is absolutely amazing. Amazing, great twists and turns. It's a great heist movie too. Some really good actors, Kevin Spacey and Stephen Baldwin. Great action and some good comedy in there too. The twist at the end was my favourite part about this film. Glad I have this in my collection. Definitely watch this. It's a must watch for a movie fan. Sorry, I just need a drink. So, if you're a movie fan like I am, where did I put that back in the collection, haven't I? If you're a movie fan like I am, you probably stick to one genre. Well, I wouldn't say I'm like starting as a movie fan. I may as well say that actually. If you're starting as a movie fan, like I was not too long ago, I would stick to one genre normally. It'd be like superhero movies. It'd be like a few comedy movies. But when you branch out into stuff like thrillers and crime and sci-fi, like Star Wars and stuff like that, you do understand why people rate these films so high. I only used to ever watch stuff like Marvel and DC. Well, Marvel mostly. Obviously, me being more of a DC fan, I don't know why I was watching a lot of Marvel, because DC didn't have as great films, you know. I used to watch Marvel, DC, a bit of Disney here and there, and obviously some comedy. But that was the most extent of my collection at the time, and the most I was actually watching. But now, if I look at my collection, I've got an entire section dedicated to action, spy, Fast and Furious. Again, I didn't like them at the start, but then I rewatched it and I rewatched it again. Great movies. The first 4, or the first 6 at least. Well, and 7 for me. Horror was something I experimented with a few times. I didn't like it the first time I watched it because it wasn't that good. The first film I watched was The Boy, so didn't have the best first watch, to be honest. I should have watched something like Halloween or Scream. But now, think about it, I've got Scream in my top 4 on Letterboxd. I've experimented with a lot of different films like The Ring, Halloween, what else have I watched? The Scream trilogy. I've watched the entire Scream trilogy now. I've watched a lot of different horror films. Z is not really a horror film, but I'd say I've watched the entire Quiet Place trilogy, which was one of my favourite trilogies I've ever watched, to be honest. I do really like that trilogy. Okay, again, I do still watch Marvel movies, mostly when they only the new one, because I don't really rewatch Marvel movies as much now, because I used to rewatch after I finished the franchise. I'd go back from the start, watch the franchise again, because I didn't have any other films to watch. Now I've got stuff like Star Wars, which I've watched 6 of the Star Wars films. I loved them, apart from the last one, obviously. I've watched all the Transformers films, apart from I've actually watched all of the Transformers films. I haven't reviewed them all on the channel, but I've definitely watched all of them. I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles again. Great movies, in my opinion, at least. Stuff like Terminator, I never really used to watch because I wasn't too much of a big fan of like robots and stuff. I watched Terminator on the channel. I didn't watch it on the channel. The Matrix and the Lord of the Rings are something I want to watch in the future when I have time. But the Matrix and the Lord of the Rings are very long films, so I need to try and get an entire weekend dedicated to the entire trilogy, something like that. Stuff like Jackie Brown, Sherlock Holmes, Wolf of Wall Street, even this film, Usual Suspects, something I wouldn't usually go for to watch, but I love this film. It's such a great action-packed twists, a heist film. Not something I'd usually go for in my collection, at least. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad I bought that mystery box. I'm glad this was in it, because otherwise I wouldn't watch it. So the more you experiment with films, the more you understand how much you actually like them. You might not like them at the start, but then you get into the actual genre itself, and you're gonna love them. Like obviously the crime and thriller genre, like this is. I didn't used to like the thought of even watching Star Wars and Star Trek. I thought it was weird to start with. Then I watched a Star Wars film and I was like, this is kind of good. And then I watched 6 Star Wars films and I was like, this is a good franchise apart from the last film. And I still carry that deep connection with this franchise, specifically Star Wars, because that's what kind of turned me on to the sci-fi films. It's an experience. So Star Wars is I never watched Star Trek. I've got 2 of the Star Trek films in my collection, and I'd love to watch them, review them for the channel when I have time. I got something like RoboCop, the collection, the 4 movies up there. Probably watch that at some point. I'll try and watch all 4 movies in one weekend. I watched stuff like R.I.P.D. and Percy. I haven't watched Resident Evil. Sorry. And stuff like Robin Hood, The Idea of March, Inception, American Hustle. Stuff I wouldn't normally watch, but I'd started watching them, like American Hustle and Inception. I've watched both of them films. They are great films. Moulin Rouge, I'm trying to get into the older films so I can get a good few ticked off my list. I think the next one for next week is probably going to be The Wolf of Wall Street. So if you want me to watch that, make sure you comment down below Wolf of Wall Street and comment the word heist down below so I know you watch all the way through the video. So yeah, nice little talk about that. About experience in genres and for the first time, and trying to develop your movie palette. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe again. At some point I'll probably put the stats up. Make sure you check them out so we can try and increase them on the channel. Again, don't forget to comment down below. Thank you all for watching. Bye bye.